Following the War of 1812, the militia system declined across the United States. By the mid-19th century, independent volunteer militia companies, like the Washington Light Infantry, began forming across Washington and Georgetown. They funded their own operations and maintained their own armories, functioning as the district's primary defense force. As the nation expanded, debates over slavery deepened the American divide. By 1860, that division arrived at the very doorstep of the Capitol. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 pushed the nation to the brink. For his March 1861 inauguration, the Capitol was a tinderbox of tension. To protect the president-elect, the D.C. militia was deployed along the parade route, acting as the primary security element. It was here that President Lincoln rendered his first salute to a D.C. Guardsman. This historic moment forged a legacy of presidential support that continues to this day. As the inaugural celebrations ended, the mission shifted from security to defense. In April 1861, the Civil War erupted. President Lincoln called for 75,000 militiamen to defend the Union. But D.C. did not wait for the national call. Forces had already mobilized on April 9th. Within 5 days of the national proclamation, 2,000 D.C. Guardsmen were sworn into federal service. They earned the historic distinction of the First Man, First Company, and First Regiment, mustered to defend the Union. They secured the bridges, guarded federal institutions, and became the first line of defense. As the war expanded, it redefined the nation itself. In 1862, the Militia Act authorized the enlistment of African American soldiers. This led to the formation of the United States Colored Troops. For the first time at scale, the fight to preserve the Union included those who had long been denied full participation in it. The D.C. Guard's mission was no longer just about defending territory. It was about defending freedom itself. But the ultimate test of the D.C. Guard came 3 years later, in July 1864. Confederate forces under General Jubal Early reached the very gates of the city. The D.C. militia was again called to the ramparts at Fort Stevens, standing alongside veteran reinforcements to repel the invasion. It was here that President Lincoln himself stood on the walls to observe the fighting, becoming the last sitting commander-in-chief in American history to come under direct enemy fire. Beside him stood the men of the district, holding the line and ensuring the Capitol did not fall. As the nation approaches its 250th anniversary, this legacy stands apart. It was a time when the question was no longer who will volunteer to march, but what must be protected at all costs. From the first salute in 1861 to the ramparts of Fort Stevens in 1864, the D.C. National Guard answered. They didn't just defend a city. They defended the very idea of a united nation and helped redefine freedom and reshape the country. D.C. National Guard, protect the Capitol, defend the nation.